Welcome to the Who's Ben Popcast. This is Ben, and I'm with my co-host, Evelyn. It's March 22nd, 2022, and Evelyn will be 2 years old on May 22nd, so that's coming up pretty soon. You're going to be a 2-year-old. How exciting. Anyhow, today I wanted to record this podcast based on the selection of equipment. So a few weeks ago, I made the decision to start doing podcasts, and then I started doing the research to figure out what kind of equipment I needed to buy. And, that would make it so it'd be fun. I like gadgets anyhow. And so in that process, it kind of got confusing. I spent just probably well over 100, maybe a couple hundred hours of research trying to figure out what to do and what to purchase. And so I wanted to just take a few minutes and explain what I put together for myself and my co-host Evelyn here. And essentially, I ended up deciding on, I have a Windows computer, so I have a Surface Pro 8, which is running Windows 11. And essentially, I went with the Zoom PodTrack P8, and that's for audio. And the nice thing about it is it actually outputs a USB port and goes into the computer, and the computer can recognize it as a microphone. And then for the video, I have a total of 3 cameras, and I can switch them between the 3. So they're different positions. One of them, I got it perched up kind of high, and I have a remote, and I can sit there and, oops, that's going the wrong way. And I can reposition it to other areas. I thought it'd be kind of cool to show, hey, we're 399 feet in the air. The only problem I run into with this one is that it doesn't really realize that it looks like it's an indoor camera. And it doesn't seem to do a very good job when I point it outside. So for now, we're just going to have it pointed down at us until we can figure out how to get it to work better. And then the third camera that I have is this. It's a document camera. It's really kind of cool. And I wanted it mobile, and so I bought this little HDMI broadcast device. Well, this camera is, it's an HDMI camera. It also has a Wi-Fi connection, so I could go directly into the computer. But I want it to go through the ATEM Mini Pro, which is what I'm going to cover next. I'm actually going to switch to that camera so that I can kind of show what's on my desk here. And it's right there. This is the ATEM Mini Pro and the ATEM Mini Pro and the PodTrack, the Zoom PodTrack P8. So Zoom PodTrack P8 is for audio. The ATEM Mini Pro is for video. And I have heard or read several things about it and about ATEM, and the Blackmagic is who makes it. And no, I'm not getting any kind of royalty or anything for saying that. Ouch! Stop beating on Daddy, sweetie. But the thing is that it only takes HDMI cameras. And I just want to put this plug in. No, you cannot buy a USB camera and hook up an adapter and it won't work. It just won't work. I've got 3 to return. And you need to get an HDMI camera if you want to be able to have it work through the ATEM Mini Pro. And I haven't been able to find any kind of device that'll transfer the signal or convert the signal from a USB to an HDMI. So it just doesn't work. Anyhow, the nice thing about the ATEM, and I call it ATEM, I notice most people call it ATEM. Say hi, Evelyn. You're right there on camera. Look at that. Go ahead, say hi. Yeah, there you are. Okay. See that? We can just switch to another camera. You can say hi to that camera, sweetie. There we go. Okay. So they said that Blackmagic said that the way that the name came up is that the Egyptian god was Atum, A-T-U-M. So I guess they changed it to A-T-E-M. So I'm assuming it's Atum. Atum. Anyhow, I'm thinking if they wanted it pronounced Atem, they would have put a hyphen in it. Maybe. I'm usually wrong. I find I'm probably wrong 80% of the time, but that's okay. We only have to be right when it matters. Anyhow, so if I switch over to this one, it gives me the ability to switch from different camera angles, and it makes it look kind of cool. And it outputs a USB port, which goes into my computer, and then my computer can then recognize, and I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen on my computer. So if I come down here and I click on the volume, if you look in the lower right, you'll see that when I click here, it's got like headphones, and it's coming out of the PodTrack, Zoom PodTrack P8, and that's what I've selected. So essentially, it's just, it's connecting through that way. And I can't really share my Riverside screen, or else it'll like just show an infinite loop of pictures. But in Riverside.fm, and that was the next piece of this puzzle that I've figured out at this point. And so it's like, okay, I have a camera or 3 cameras that I can switch around, and my computer can read them as a single USB camera, even though they're all HDMI cameras, but they come into the computer as a USB camera. And then on my Atom Mini Pro, I can switch amongst them. And then on my Zoom PodTrack P8, that's where my audio comes in. And so I can plug in, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Let me show you this my little document scanner camera here. Let's see, there we go. There we go, Evelyn. And try not to push any buttons, okay? Because when you push buttons, things stop working. And so if I zoom down on this, no pun intended, I have, wait, don't push that, please don't do it, please. I have that's a USB device. I mean, a Bluetooth device. It was like an extra $50. And it makes it so that I can actually place telephone calls and call people. And they'll be right into the call. And then I've got 4 microphone ports and a 5th microphone port, but the 5th shares with the computer. So if I'm bringing in audio from the computer, then it'll go through that port as well. And the Atom Mini Pro allows for 4 video signals. It's just so much fun. And I probably could call somebody and put them on. And let's see here. So anyhow, I know it looks kind of complicated. The first camera I purchased was the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. And with the lens, it set me back right almost $2,000. And then up above there is, if you can see that camera, how come you can't see my hand? There it is. You can't even see it. But if you look all the way at the top up there, is a little camera that swivels around, and it was like $700. It's also an HDMI camera. And then camera number 3 is the one that I'm portably moving around. That I'm excited with this one because I'm gonna be able to make Bluetooth. I'm gonna be able to make training. I also publish books, and so I'm kind of excited to show people how to use, ways to improve their training and stuff like that. I make books for training and reference and legal type stuff. And then out here you can see that we are broadcasting from above Austin, Texas. We're at 399 feet. And out there in the distance, that is the UT Tower out there, if you know what to look for, I guess. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's basically my setup. And then right now, I have a green screen behind me, and I really don't know what to do with that yet, because I'm going to have to figure out a way to turn that into a different background. But I wanted to just get started right away. Right, Evelyn? We wanted to just get started. And so here we are. And then my lighting set, which here we'll switch to camera 3. And there's my lighting. So I bought these 3 and mounted them on my desktop. And I have that 4th light over here. I don't know if that was made necessarily for recording videos, but I'm kind of using it that way. And then down here, I have my, it's a Microsoft Surface Pro 8, and I think it's my 4th or 5th different Surface Pro computer. I've really had great luck. I've really loved them. It's such a nice feeling working with it. And then I have my Asus monitor here, which is what we're using, and it's a touch screen. I won't touch it. It's battery operated, and it's actually where I have the my Riverside.fm, which is the app that we're using in order to record this podcast. And it also takes in the video, and multiple people could call in, and they would end up in through there, and somehow I'll eventually figure out how to work this too. But in the meantime, I'm kind of like just plugging along with Evelyn, and we're going to figure out how to do this, and maybe down the road we'll have better episodes and the quality will be a lot better. But in the meantime, we're learning how to do it, and I think we got the right kind of microphone. And all right, so that's all for now, and I hope that helps. And I want to just say that one more time. You cannot take a USB camera and use an adapter and just switch it to HDMI. It just doesn't work that way. You can probably take HDMI back to USB, but you can't go that opposite direction. You need like a computer in the middle in order to change the video signal. Or I'm not really an electrical engineer, but I know for a fact it won't work, and I did a lot of research, and I was wrong. I still tried it, but it didn't work. I really wanted to get that out. And then when I put together my Zoom PodTrack P8 and my Ada Mini Pro, they both output a USB into my computer, and then my computer recognizes one as audio and the other as video. And then I'm using a product called Riverside.fm, and that's the one that I'm using to say, okay, let's start recording both of these, so that I bring them together. And hey, thank you, and so have a good day. I wonder if I should have said thank you. I read something about that, and they were like, you shouldn't say thank you, because thank you kind of says, hey, you didn't give any value or something. It's an interesting idea there, but I actually love you for coming and listening to me, so thank you for that. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited, nervous, and somewhat scared. This on my background here, if for those of you that are watching on YouTube, is a quote that I got turned on to years ago, and I think it's really important because it really helps me. It really helped me understand about life and business and how to get things going and keep them going and stuff. And basically, and I used to make my older kids read it every day, and it goes like this. It's from Calvin Coolidge. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. That's really an amazing statement when you think about it. Really amazing. It's very profound. It's beautiful. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. And I've recognized in the quest to be an entrepreneur and get something created. And I don't care whether it's a product or you want to create a business or you want to create anything that doesn't exist in the world yet. It really just takes that persistence and determination. And that's the basis of my POPcast. And POP is an acronym where it's P-O-P, and the acronym is for passion, obsession, and perseverance. And those are what it takes to actually make something work. You know, you almost have to will it into existence. And you almost have to will it into existence. You know, it's like it won't exist until you make it exist. And that takes passion so that you can attract and inspire other people, because anything you want to get accomplished that's of any significance is going to be done through other people. Or in my case, just about everything is done through other people. And then obsession, because, you know, the target is constantly moving, questioning it, changing it. I mean, who knows what's happening? I think it just becomes obscure, but you really have to stay on that target. And it's not easy to do, and that's why the final is perseverance, because it's just hard, and it's sleepless nights many times and tearful and all that. And so thank you for listening, and I love you all.